It was a dark and stormy weekend. The teacher's classroom was securely locked, or so she thought. Welcome to my newest Breakout EDU game, The Fraction Thief. In this game, originally written for 5th grade, students will be multiplying and dividing fractions. To set it up, the first thing you're going to do is print out and cut the following puzzles as they are described. The first puzzle, dividing whole numbers by fraction, is marked in red. You'll print these two-sided, laminate them on cardstock if you can, and then create 5 strips by cutting them out on the dashed lines. In this puzzle, students will need to add all 5 quotients to determine the combination to the 3-digit lock. In the green puzzle, rectangular fraction models, you're going to print these two-sided on cardstock if you can, but since these will be consumable, it doesn't really matter. Cut the cards on the dashed lines, but don't laminate these as students will be highlighting on them. They're going to use the highlighters to shade the designated parts or fraction of the whole. The green area, where the fractional areas overlap, will lead to the combination of the 4-digit lock when the pieces are put together according to the text on the back. In the next puzzle, fraction cover-up, there are 2 options for this one. Option 1 is a little less chaotic. You'll print pages 1 and 2 single-sided on cardstock if you can. Cut the pieces from page 1 on the lines. With this puzzle, students will put the factors, or in other words the pieces, onto the corresponding products on the puzzle board to determine the combination to the 5-letter lock. With option 2, you're going to cut page 3 on the lines. This time, students will put the products, which are the pieces, on the corresponding equations on the puzzle board to determine the combination to the 5-letter word lock. The next puzzle is blue, dividing fractions by fractions. You're going to print this two-sided, laminated on cardstock if it's available, and then create 5 strips by cutting on the dashed lines. For this puzzle, students will determine the quotients and then match them up with the corresponding letters on the back side. Finally, the yellow puzzle, comparing fractional amounts, also includes the golden apple and the certificate that you can place at the box at the end of the puzzle. You're going to print these out two-sided on cardstock if possible. Cut the cards on the dashed lines and wait to laminate them. Carefully write the numbers indicated on the slide, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, in invisible ink on the back side of the corresponding cards. Again, make sure you do this carefully because students will need to use the greater than or less than symbols to determine the combination to the directional lock. Once you've written on the back of these in invisible ink, then you can go ahead and laminate them if you wish. You're going to fill the small box with the discussion cards, the golden apple and certificate, or whatever else you want to end up with. Place the hasp on the small box and attach these 4 locks: the 3-digit lock, 4-digit lock, 5-letter lock, and the directional lock. For this next part, you're going to set aside enough cards so that each student in your class gets 1 small puzzle piece from the fraction cover-up game, and each pair of students gets a colored card from the following. All 5 of the blue cards will stay out, some of the red cards will stay out, and some of the yellow cards will stay out. So, for example, if you have 20 students in your class, set aside 20 of the small gray-purple puzzle pieces, all 5 blue cards, 3 of the red cards, and 2 of the yellow cards. So 20 small and 10 colored puzzles. You're going to place the small locked box inside of the big box along with all those leftover pieces. So that'll be a yellow and blue highlighter, all 4 of the green cards from the rectangular fraction models puzzle, the remaining small puzzle pieces, the gray and purple ones, the remaining red cards, the remaining yellow cards, as well as the blacklight flashlight batteries. You'll lock the big box up with the keyed lock, hide the key on the clock. If your clock is hard to reach, or if perhaps it would be too obvious, you can also tape the key to a book with a picture of a clock on it, or put it in the dictionary on the page with the word clock. Somewhere nearby, set out the puzzle board from the fraction cover-up game, as well as the hollow flashlight. As an alternate, I like to attach the flashlight to the keyed lock. Students will start the game in pairs, which can either be random or assigned. Circulate throughout the room while the game is being played. Assist students who ask for hints as they're working, or maybe those who still have misunderstandings about the concepts. Remember, the objective here is to reinforce multiplying and dividing fractions. And even though we know the main objective to any of these content area breakout games is academics, be sure to have some fun.
Right in between 5 and 7.
Oh my gosh, you guys!
Open it.
We're smart. Quiet.